My name is Anamika Lahuti. I am from Presidency School, Ajmer. So, the first session was about what is a good stock, how you can buy it, and at a good price, and about the basic terms and accounting factor. So, the first term is market capital. Market capital is the total pay you have to give to a company to buy a particular share. If the market capital is high, then there is the low rate of risk, and if the market capital is low, then there is a high risk. There are four kinds of capital: large capital, mid capital, small capital, and micro capital. So, the large capital is from 1 to 100, which is the least risk capital. The mid capital is from 101 to 250. The small capital is 250 to 500, and the macro capital is 105, and so on. So, the micro capital is of more risk. Next term is ROCE, return on capital employed. So there are two kinds of capital: owner's capital, which is the equity of the owner, and the second one is borrowed money, which is the debt. Equity plus debt is called the capital employed. If the ROCE is high, then it is better to buy a share, and if the ROCE is low, then it is a risk factor. If the company have less loan, less equity to debt ratio, then it will be less risky. To buy a share of a particular company, you should fix a criteria of the market capital, of the ROCE, and the debt to equity ratio. Next term is promoters holding. The more of a promoter's holding will be a good for the share of the company to buy it, and if the promoter holding is less, then it is a risk. There are two conditions which are based, which is SEBI and by RBI. So the SEBI one is, if you are buying a share, then the promoter should not have more than 75% of it. And the RBI is, if you are buying a share of a bank, it should not be more than 25% to the promoters. And the RBI one is only for the banks. Next, in session 2, you should always and always research about the company and know the past of the company. You should always check the P&L account, which shows the past performance of the company before buying a share. If the sales are high, then it is good to buy a share. If the sales are low, then it is a risk factor. With sales, you should also check the profit of the company. If the profit is high, then it is good, and if the profit is low, it is not good. You should also check the company's cash from operations before buying a share. You should also look at the ROCE of the company, past year's ROCE. If the ROCE is negative, then it is not good. The company is at loss. Before buying a share, you should also keep the things in mind that if the company will survive in the next 5 or 6 years, if there is a future of the company and the future is good or not. Before buying a share, you should do three things: study the data about the company, you should also see the growth of the company, and the future, whether it is unique or whether it will survive or not.